What up, peeps? It's your girl, Josh, coming back to you from Real Takes. Today I'll be doing my weekly movie news. I have quite a few things I want to discuss, a couple of things that came out that dropped in the trailers I want to discuss. One in particular, you should probably know which one I might be referring to. It starts with a V, ends with an N. But with that said, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I'll have quite a bit. So with that, first and foremost, let me start with last week I saw, of course, Mission Impossible Fallout, and I couldn't say enough about it. I gave it a 10 out of a 10. It was great. Of course, the cast was great. There's one particular person in the cast who seems to be building more films onto her, list, and I want to say that is Rebecca Ferguson, and she has two that she has basically snatched up and signed on to be in, and they're on different spectrums. We have first Men in Black, which is already starring, of course, Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. I'm excited about that. Learning more now with the cast. We still don't know a lot about her particular character as of yet. They have her on top billing, but we all know who the two main leads are, of course, Tessa and Chris, but she is definitely a part of the casting. I don't know if she's playing one of their antagonists or she's playing the good guy. We have no clue as of yet. But I thought that's really good, coming off of, knowing that she'd already signed this, actually, not even a couple months ago, she tied this and she'd signed on this one, and also Dr. Sleep as well, which is going to be kind of like a sequel to The Shining, starring Ewan McGregor. So I'm actually excited for her in that one as well. With that particular one, I had to do my research on that one because she's playing the Wicked Rose the Hat, the leader of the True Knot, a twisted cult that preys on those who shine. And of course, you already know Ewan McGregor's playing in the character Danny Torrance, who's forced to confront, his traumatic past when he tries to help a teenager girl who's being hunted by the True Knot. So I'm actually enjoying the overall story, a little bit of the synopsis they're giving us for Dr. Sleep for that. I know some more people are being added on, and I'm going to just check to find out some more updates as time goes on for Dr. Sleep, because I know earlier in the year we discussed Ewan McGregor was coming on board. I didn't discuss it on here. I was discussing it on my previous show I was doing, radio show. And I'm excited to see that. I didn't know they were planning in the works with The Shining at the time for a sequel of sorts, but I am a fan of Ewan McGregor, and of course, I just recently saw Christopher Robin, so I'm even more of a fan. I was a fan before that, but he, brought me back in a little bit more, especially with this particular Disney favorite of mine. So, but yes, for Rebecca, I'm excited for her. I actually enjoyed her in the movie The Snowman, and then also she was in The Girl on the Train. So she's done a couple other things, but those are the movies. Before that, I saw her in, of course, Rogue Nation, and that's kind of what intrigued me with her work, because I wasn't really paying attention to her work, but when she did that movie, and she was a baddie, and that she's kicking butt, she was holding her own, and it left a nice impression on me that when I saw her coming up in those particular two movies I just stated, I said, okay, I'm going to have to keep my eye on her. And of course, her coming back to do Fallout looks good. You never know, they might do a number 7. We'll have to see how that pans out, but I'm going to keep my eye on her. She's doing great things, and I'm loving, some of the particular roles she's choosing, so I will continue, watching her. I'm starting to become a fan of her work, so I'm looking forward to seeing, more from her, and I'm looking forward to knowing more about her character in Men in Black. That's interesting to me, so hopefully it'll give us more deets, and then I can bring that to you guys when I know more. Now, this is the one that I'm actually interested in, but then I don't know, because I just feel like, why are we having to go here? But it is what it is. It's not a reboot. It's kind of more like another sequel added on. Now, it is stated that they're doing a prequel to Die Hard. It's going to be stated Die Hard Year 1. Of course, Bruce Willis will be back. Also, Bruce Willis is going to be involved with this because at the moment they're featuring a younger John McClane to be showcased and shown in this movie. Now, it's going to give you an idea of kind of showing flashbacks of, present day and in flashbacks of the 70s. That's kind of how they're going to tie in this character. I know this is based off of a novel, Nothing Lasts Forever, excuse me. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I know Len Wiseman is back as a director. He was part of Live Free, Die Hard, which I liked. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to do this. I do know also Bonnie Bedelia is going to be coming back as the wife. So when they're doing more of the present day scenes, she'll be a part of that as well, which will be nice to see her. I haven't seen her in anything in a long time. So I was actually excited to hear that part is coming back. And I do like the fact that since Bruce has been basically the focal point of anything that's do with the Die Hard franchise, the fact that he'll be involved with finding the younger version of John McClane, that's very interesting to me. I'm looking forward to seeing if they discuss in future details and updates when I bring it, who the different actors who are going to be considered for that particular role. That should be very interesting. I don't know when they're slated for this to come out. Word is that it might be coming out in 2019. They're getting ready to start production on this for filming, so we'll have to see. They might be shooting for 2019, but I'm trying to figure out what date they're planning to use. Would be very interesting because there's a lot coming out next year, and I'd like to know where they're going to tie in. That would be very nice if they do, but let's just say it's competition on top of competition because there's so many things. Like I stated before, starting January of next year, we have good movies coming out. So it's like there's nothing waiting till spring, summer, maybe fall for good movies. I love that movies are throughout the whole year now, and it's nothing as a stigma on it, whichever. So you just never know. But anyway, with that, also, out of all the Die Hards, let me tell you, okay, we have our Die Hard, we have a Die Hard 2, we have Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free, Die Hard, and we had, what is that last one, which is some garbage. It was A Good Day to Die Hard. I can remember the full title, excuse me. They could have did without that. I don't mind the first four. That fifth one was some crap. So this one will be Die Hard 6. So that's how I see it, even though it's considered a prequel. But I'm glad that Len Wiseman's back. I actually like him as a director. He does, some great work, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to be. We're going to get to see a younger version of John McClane, how he developed, his instincts for certain things. Because as you all know from the first Die Hard, he was coming to visit, his estranged wife, and trying to, foil a plot to take over, and them using him as hostage, any killings, whatever, in regards to the plans they had set forth, whichever. So we'll have to see how it pans out, his younger version of himself, which helped deemed him to what he became when we saw the first one. I'm looking forward to that. That's a kind of a little difference, different take on it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring with that. So just looking forward to that, but also, like I said, if I find out more about who else is cast and also the date, I'll let you guys know. So, but with that, moving on. Now, speaking of a movie I'm actually looking forward to seeing, and I'm really hoping they're getting their act together to figure out what they're doing, is the Batman solo movie. I know Matt Reeves, of course, he's the director on it, the writer and the director are part of it. Now, from what I'm hearing, Ben Affleck is still a part of it. Right now, we're not sure is in what capacity, because at first he was supposed to be doing, he signed on to be writer, director, and actor, but I think that looks to be grueling of a schedule, grueling probably, so he probably took a step back, and that's why now we have Matt Reeves, and that's fine. Now, what they're claiming, they said he's almost done with the script, Matt Reeves, whichever, so it will not be based on Batman Year One. So, and it is still revealed that, of course, Ben is still involved. He has stated that in a recent interview, Matt Reeves, so I'm glad to know that. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. But now that the script is just about done, we'll kind of know more as it goes, further next, couple of months. Hopefully they'll be able to tell us something moving forward. Because I'm going to tell you like this. I said this before. I enjoyed Ben Affleck coming on board to do Batman versus Superman. A lot of people, just talk so much smack. It was ridiculous online. Some of the comments during the trailers. And then they did a particular trailer where they showed kind of like a TV spot, like a little bit of a sequence of the fighting scene, looked like in an abandoned building or warehouse. And it was really done well. Some of the gentlemen that I watched, YouTube literally had a lot to say, but when they saw that scene, they kind of took a step back and like, okay, that's a nice little sequence similar to something from the comics or whatever, or even the animation. They liked it, and they kind of gave him a little bit of a pass. Now, of course, the movie comes out, whatever, and some of the things that were put together, the way they're edited, it was fine. They were still kind of set with the overall picture, but a lot of them could get behind him because as well before that, we had Christian Bale. A lot of people liked him as Batman when he did The Dark Knight. So I actually liked him in that. I didn't mind him in Justice League. Of course, he did a small role in Suicide Squad. So we'll have to just see if he's going to do it. I really hope because, at first he wasn't sure. Then he had his, brother making comments in interviews that was straight annoying. It's like, if you really don't want to do it, then just let the fans let us know whatever. But then it's like contract obligations, can't just be going out saying stuff. That's why they say he's still so-called involved. So I'm just curious, but they said Reeves, and let me note this, he says he didn't rule out recasting the role either. So we'll have to see in what capacity Ben Affleck will be involved, but hopefully we'll know something, like I said, soon, because basically we're waiting to see when the script's going to be done, if they're going to start this, and if they start it, will it come out not 019, 020? That's how I feel about, like I said last week with Christopher McQuarrie. If he's interested in doing Man of Steel 2, what's happening? Are we going to start working on a script soon? Going into the fall, early spring? Will this have a late, release if they do 2020? That's what I would like. I don't care if they come up with both of them in one year. So what? There you go. Boom. Because I see the way they're trying to figure out their formula for DCEU now. I mean, they're not going to be able to catch up to Marvel. They're on a whole nother level now. But their pace, if they're steady with it, because they have 3 things coming out next year. And I'm very happy about that for them. So we'll have to see how this is going to pan. I just don't know. I'm just, I really am hoping, I really want a Man of Steel too, and I do want the Batman movie, so I'm hoping they figure that out. I still also want a Deathstroke movie too, so we need to move this ball rolling, or if we do a Batman movie, I would love for Deathstroke to be in and play the antagonist. Give me something. Give me some breadcrumbs, put something out there, people. Let's work this thing out so we can move this along. But speaking of Batman as well, word is out that Matt is looking to find a younger Batman to do, if he's considering the origin story, a younger castmate who's going to be in the age bracket of somewhere between 15 and 25. And there are a couple of ideas of some names they're throwing out there, and I'm going to note them, whichever. Similar to how you were doing with a young, Han Solo when they did with, what's his name, Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know if I'm saying his last name wrong. I think I butchered that. My apologies, you guys. We have Evan Peters, which I'm familiar with him. I loved him. He's great. I know he's supposed to be in the new Dark Phoenix. We have him, of course, in Apocalypse, X-Men Days of Future Past as well. And he's also on American Horror Story, which I love him on that. That's what I really love him on when he does that show. Then we have them discussing, possibly maybe Nick Robinson. He's the one that did Love, Simon. Don't know how I feel about that one. He did also Everything as well. I enjoyed that movie. Maybe, Then we have them saying Liam Hemsworth. I'm thinking overall look. A younger Batman, when I think about Bentley, whichever, and even Christian Bale, more darker brood, they can maybe darken the hair. I don't know. The mustache probably to be gone. Not sure. And then we had, of course, they said Harry Styles. I don't see it. I mean, I think he needs a little bit more height. The hair, has a little brooding look, whatever to me, whatever, and all that. Put him in a suit or something, or a little bit, I don't know for that one. And then the last one was Brett Dyer. That one, I can see a little bit darker hair, whatever, got a little bit of height, because as much as they want to cast it, they have these little ideas of some people they can throw out there. I just don't know. They're not jumping out at me, really. Evan, definitely, for the fact that he's very good. He's very method-like with his, and he can play that serious part very well. Nick Robinson from Love, Simon, I can see a little bit, he's good when he's playing serious and all that, because I don't foresee anything being funny. It'd be mostly serious and a little bit of maybe, who knows, a little bit of action you're showing him, preparation of, evolving to become Batman. I don't know. But, yeah, there's some more male actors out there. They're going to have to really pick some. I said, them throwing out some names and some possibilities. We'll have to see. These are not written in stone that Matt Reeves is actually looking at, but these are some names that have been popping up lately of people with suggestion. I don't know how I feel about them. I'm trying to just really get the overall look. I have to see them like in the overall look of how they would look as, I just know. So we'll have to see if they come up with some actual names right now. I don't mind suggestions, but I don't think those are the ones that are popping. They're going to, get me hyped on that part of it if they're doing that considered origin part of the story for Batman. But yeah, Ben's good for his part. They need to, consider that. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Matt Reeves has in store. Like I said, I'm glad that the script is basically done. We just need to move this along and, just go ahead and get to it and figure out who's actually going to be playing Batman. Is Ben actually doing it, or is he going to be behind the scenes, helping, whatever? But it's like, what's the point? Matt is the director, and he's definitely writing on the script. He's not involved with that part. So what other part are you going to play? So that's just my personal opinion on that. But yes, when I know more about that, I'll let you guys know. Second, moving on, going to start talking about some photos that are being revealed, some new images for Terminator 6. I'm excited. Of course, a couple weeks ago, I posted pictures of showing Linda Hamilton on set. I'm so excited she is back. I'm such a fan of her just overall, but I love her in the Terminator movies, and it was just such a great news to hear she came on board. Now, with this one, the picture that I'm going to put up, it shows her with two other females. One is Mackenzie Davis, and the other one is, I want to say, Natalia Reyes. And when I looked at the one with Mackenzie Davis, she's in the middle, and she has like short hair, wearing like a little white tank and jeans. I kept looking at the picture because I was just like, this person looks very, something was kind of off with me and all. And I know it's probably because the way they're stating the way she is in this movie, there's a possibility she could be a human or she could be either a cyborg or actual Terminator. And the way she looks, she has little scrapes and cuts on her, whatever. So I'm not sure how she's going to be playing for her role. They're not basically telling us these things now. They don't want to give away too much, whatever, which gives a little secrecy to her particular role, and how she's going to be played. Is she going to be somebody who's loyal? Is she working for Skynet, or is she working like how, Arnold was when he came back for Judgment Day, where he came back to save, John Connor and all that, and basically became a little bit more human-like, in the way he carried himself and reacted to things, with the help of John. So I'm excited to see all of the cast. I know this is them bringing back Arnold and Linda because they're basically going to be passing on the torch to Terminator to continue the franchise, whichever. So I feel like this might be the last one that definitely Linda Hamilton will be in, and I think definitely most likely will be for Arnold Schwarzenegger. It is actually a sad thing to say it because I feel like that's what they're trying to do, because if they're trying to start this all over, they've already decided to act like the other ones. Because at first I wanted to think it was just the first one, Terminator, and it was going to be moved on, but it basically seems like it's starting up after Terminator Judgment Day. So everything else after number 2 is no longer, like, nobody wants to think about it, and I'm fine with that. There's nothing wrong. There were certain things from some of those other movies that I didn't mind. Rise of the Machines was okay, but honestly, I can do without them. 1 and 2 were the best ones, in my personal opinion. Everybody likes their favorites, but those were truly my favorites, and I'm fine for that. So I'm just curious to know more about, of course, Reyes' character, of course, figuring out exactly where is Mackenzie's draw the line, within this movie, with us seeing how she looks in that actual photo. Lets me know, yes, which one are you? Are you a cyborg? Are you a full-fledged? Are you a Terminator? What, a T-800? Yeah. So I'm just curious about that now, as well as that the date for this to come out is supposed to be November 22nd. I wanted to make sure I had written that down for myself. And like I said, that's next year around the holidays. That is going to make a rack of money. And I will be one of those ones giving away my money for that. And I'm going to tell you, if it's so good like I feel like it will be, they'll give my money the following weekend. So have no problem supporting. I've been a fan and lover of Terminator since the first time I saw that movie, and I'm gonna continue that long tradition. So, but with that said, you guys, moving on. Another movie I'm looking forward to, which is moving on with sequels, is Top Gun 2. I discussed this a couple weeks ago. Miles Teller has taken over the character of Goose's son in the next one, and I'm excited. Now, I did tell you about some other 2 gentlemen who were attached. That was, of course, Nicholas Hoult and Glenn Powell. Well, it looks like Glenn Powell will actually be in the movie now. He was up for that role, but the people, Jerry Bruckheimer and Paramount, loved him so much during, I'm assuming, when he came into, to read for whichever, that they decided to make a whole new particular character for him. Now, with that, they said, from that whole situation, whichever, they're keeping it tight-lipped with it, but they said, a possibility, and let me read this out to you, said, in addition to Goose's son, played by Miles Teller, whichever, they said the report also listed several other young male characters who are set to appear in the film. According, among these is a character named Kansas, who is described as a competitive fellow with southern charm to spare. The Texas native Powell sounds like a perfect match, and I kind of agree with that. I remember him, of course, in Hidden Figures. He does a great job with that. And I'm looking forward to seeing some other cast members in it. I did hear Of course Val Kilmer will be back. I'm happy to see him in it, and also Jennifer Connelly is going to be attached to the cast, which will be very interesting. I wonder who is she playing. Is she playing, the girlfriend, of Maverick, aka Tom Cruise's character, or is she going to be, just somebody, who works with them, might become a new love interest or whatever. I'm just curious her character and all. I don't know anything about that. They didn't state exactly, but she is on board to be a part of the cast for Top Gun 2. So I'm just looking forward to it, and I'm glad for Glenn Powell because honestly, I will say it. I actually picked him before I picked Miles. I said he looks better, like the look of, playing Goose's son, because when you look at, the character and you look at the character that was played by Meg Ryan, which is the mother, I saw the overall features looking more so like him than anything. But, they know what they want. Plus, I know Tom Cruise was involved with, vetting to see who they would pick. But that was good, and I'm glad for Glenn. That's awesome because even though he didn't win it, he still win it because he still gets to be in the movie, and that movie's most likely gonna probably be good. I say it like Tom, he prides himself on perfection, make sure he can make a good movie with good writing and a good direction. So I feel like Top Gun 2 is going to be good. I love the first one. I'm looking forward to seeing the second one. So, but with that said, oh, and then also dated for the date is supposed to be July of next year. So, and I thought about that. I said, why is it Tom always seems to like to bring his movies out in July? He likes that month. That's a good month. Everybody's on holiday. People are off work, summer, whatever, kids are out, whatever, and all that. Yeah. Yeah, that's strategic. I think that's strategic. I think he loves to pick that. That's Tom's month. That's how I'm gonna say it now. It's Tom's month. So when July come, but every other year is gonna be a Tom movie in July. I can just guarantee it. But whichever. Moving on. There's a movie coming out I'm actually excited and looking forward to seeing. It's involving two actors I really enjoyed. One of them did a little bit of extra, which caused him to be ousted from Hollywood for a minute, but he's come back strong and he's doing his thing. That's Mel Gibson and Colin Farrell. They're going to be a movie called War Pigs. I'm actually excited. Like I said, with Mel Gibson, had a little rough patch there. Certain things, personal life, spilled out into Hollywood or whatever, and people weren't having it. So for a minute, you didn't see him for a while. Then he came back real strong with Hacksaw Ridge. He got nominated for a couple of, Academy Awards, and I let you know that people were very forgiving because they kept his name off of it. They put it out there. They didn't even say on there it was directed. They said produced, but whoever it was left his name out of it and let the movie speak for itself. And that was a good thing for him because eventually they wanted to know who directed it. And once we all found out, like, oh, wow. I already like Mel Gibson for so many movies he's done over the years. I am a fan of his work. I can't even deny that. He has a plethora of hits after hits. I think he's a great director. He did one of these movies I love called Apocalypto, and it's one of my favorite movies. I had that on DVD. I love that movie. I can watch it over and over again and not get bored. It's so great. Matter of fact, I almost am itching to take it out just to watch it again because it's been a minute. But Colin Farrell, of course, he's got a lot going on. Of course, with this new movie War Pigs, and about to start possibly production. He's also going to be in Widows, which I'm looking forward to coming out this fall, and also in Dumbo, which I saw, of course, the trailer when I went out to see another Disney movie, Christopher Robin's. I'm looking forward to seeing Dumbo as well. That's another one that I grew up watching as a child. So I'm actually excited to see that as well. But let me give the premise of the movie. War Pigs centers on a crew of ex-Special Forces soldiers as they go undercover as drug dealers, all as a part of a revenge mission against the violent cartel that murdered one of their friends. At the same time, the crew tries to pull off an elaborate heist. Very interesting. I want to say the guy who's directing, his name is Tommy Wirkola. He did a very funny comedy horror called Dead Snow, which I remember really good. And then he also did Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, which I enjoyed as well. So I'm actually excited to see because I feel like since horror and then the action, whatever and all that, not to say he's going to have a lot of any type of comedy or horror, but the action in Hansel and Gretel was really good that I feel like I feel confident that the action sequences with these special forces guys will be very good to add to it. And it's talking about this really big major heist has me excited to see what they're going to bring to this actual particular movie. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Both of them are doing good work. Mel's beefing up. He of course did what was it Was it Daddy's Home too? And then he was also in, what was the other movie he was in, besides directing Hacksaw Original. So he's slowly kind of getting back out there. Everybody like Daddy's Home too was hilarious, and like I said, so many other different movies that I like that Carl Feller does as well. So I'm enjoying seeing him doing quite a bit. Like I always say this, when you don't see certain actors for like a year or so, that lets you know they're working on stuff. And clearly Colin was working on some stuff because, he did Widows of Dumbo, and I hadn't seen him in anything besides that recently for me. So yes, I'm just glad to see him out and doing a couple of things he has lined up. And now he has this, which I'm assuming it doesn't say the date. I try to note that. So hopefully when I learn more on that, I'll probably just note that real quick about, when they have a showcase for when the film's going to come out. I'm assuming if they're getting ready to start production, this might come out maybe next year. Might be early 2020, maybe January, February, whatever. You never know. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It looks like it's going to be a good one to watch. Especially another thing I'm looking forward to. I didn't talk about it last week in my movie news, and somebody brought up and asked me if I would, if I was going to, and I didn't say it. But I will say I'm loving how they're kind of trying to open up dealing with anime, live action anime. I know when they did Ghost in the Shell, it was okay for what it was, but the overall storyline and some of the characters that we know good and well from the anime were not fleshed out better, and it kind of was lackluster. I mean, plus a lot of people had a problem with, of course, Scarlett Johansson being in it. That kind of soured them on it, whatever. You can't blame her overall, whichever, but sometimes with certain movies, whatever, they want to always say that it can be considered whitewash of sorts. They could have picked someone else, and that's fine, whichever. I try not to use that as the only point. If I'm not liking the storyline or if the actions, whatever's not on par, or even some of the CGI doesn't look right, whatever, and all that, I'm looking more towards that as well. I said that's one thing. Look at everything collectively, because I said if that was the only part that had a problem with it, everything else was fine. I'm like, nah. But if everything else, and honestly, everything else was. Even when they did Aeon Flux back in the day with Charlize Theron, it was like I used to watch that, and I was just like, really. But nothing against her, but it was just not good. Now I'm excited because Alita Battle Angel Dig, the trailer just dropped like over a week ago, and it was done phenomenal. I did my reaction. It blew me away. I know James Cameron did read up on it, and he loved it so much. He wanted to do it, but at the time, the way they're doing CGI now, it wasn't as broad enough for them to get the technology to do it. So he had to choose between that and considering doing the movie Avatar, and he chose Avatar. And in the end, he's probably for the best at the moment because Avatar ended up doing very well at the box office. And now he's in the midst of doing 4 more of them, which I'm looking forward to seeing because I'm trying to figure out 4 more, but that's fine. But I'm glad that he's a part of it by being a producer. And we have Robert Rodriguez, as I stated, as the director. So I have good faith. The cast looks great. Jennifer Connelly's in that one. We have Christopher Waltz in it. Yes, it looks like it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I know Michelle Rodriguez is in as well. Ed Screen is in this as well. There's a couple other names I'm missing out. My apologies, but there's just to name a few. So I'm looking forward to that. So this brings me to a movie that's coming out that Chris Pratt's been involved with since 2014, trying to get it off, and now we're finally going to get it. It's going to be Cowboy Ninja Viking, and I'm looking forward to it because now they're expanding the cast. We have the female lead as well, and that's going to be, her name is Priyanka Chopra. I want to say it correctly. She's been added to the cast as well. So they did very well at their screening together. The chemistry was really good. So, and that does work. Honestly, that is always a good thing for me. If I can see the chemistry between the characters, whichever and all that, then that's a good thing. So hopefully we'll see it resonated on screen when they do it. But let me read the synopsis. The storyline for Cowboy Ninja is based on the comic book, of course, by A.J. Lieberman. Now, it says a secret government organization creates agents that are called triplets. They're named as such because they're assassins that combine their skills and personalities through 3 deadly warriors. It says the story follows Duncan, which is played by Pratt, an assassin that brings together the prowess of Cowboy, Ninja, and Viking as he's forced to hunt down fellow former agents. Other personas that characters take on include the mix of a hitman, a Navy SEAL, and some history's most formidable fighters. At present, Pratt is the only cast member, but now I've heard that, Priyanka's come on board, and that's a good thing. She's going to be playing Sarah Nix, the psychologist who's tasked to monitor Pratt's character, Duncan, as he hunts down other triplets. Now, they're stating, as well as that, there's a possibility that some type of feelings might form between the two, which can cause problems within the professional part of her doing her job and him doing his job. So that'll be interesting. They're doing that to bring that aspect into it. But I like the overall synopsis of exactly what we're going to watch. This particular anime I did not watch, so I had to do a little research because I wanted to understand what was going on and understanding. I saw a little bit of the background of what it looks like. When I first saw it, do not judge me. When I saw Cowboy, the first thing I thought he was doing Cowboy Bebop. Then I was like, no, that's not Cowboy Bebop. I watched that. I didn't watch the Ninja One Viking, but I remember Cowboy Bebop, and that's not it. So I caught myself real quick. But that's fine. I'll put it like this. I'm hoping with Alita doing very well. She comes out in December 21st to be exact. I'm hoping it does very well because with him doing this one, that's going to be the deciding factor moving on to this one to lead into the second one, this whenever when it comes out. They're stating this is to come out June of 2019, so they already have the date time back, and they already started production and filming on this. So I'm really feel like the pressure is on for Lee to do well, but I feel confident. James Cameron's attached to it. I feel very confident. He's so many movies that I love for decades that I feel like they picked the perfect time with the technology they needed to put forth the effort. I know some people kind of try to tweak a little bit of the CGI, but I'm like, he'll make sure that's ready. The movie does come out in December. We still got a lot of time, and I know James is a perfectionist about his work too. So we'll make sure if he's attached with Robert Rodriguez, he's going to make sure Robert has everything he needs to make sure this movie is done correctly, and I'm happy. So that does well. A lot of people will welcome with open arms more to be made, and just hope and pray they do better so we can see more, because I do love some anime and I would love to see some more of them. I don't mind anime in its animation form, so when they do live action, they have to really think about the casting. They need to think about that storyline, especially if this is going to be one of those ones that becomes a franchise where they might end up doing more than one, and that's where I don't see them getting there just yet, but depending on how the next couple of them do, that might be a consideration. So we'll have to see about that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's exciting news for me to watch. I'm looking forward. Now, also, I spoke about last week as well, some other cast members being added to Wonder Woman. Natasha Rothwell. I'm excited for her. Don't know too much about her actual character as of yet. I'm still waiting to hear more about that. But now we have another person who's been added to it. His name is Pedro Pascal. And I discussed him when I was doing my actual review on Equalizer 2, because he's actually in that movie. I'm a fan of his work as well. I'm excited he's been added. And yes, Patty is slowly letting more things out. She's actually the one that posted a picture of Pascal in costume and his character from off the set. So yes, we get to see it. I will make sure I note that somewhere on here. And I tell you, she's letting out more breadcrumbs with more cast members, which is good. Of course, the first one we got was Kristen Wiig. She's going to be the cheetah. I'm excited for that. And of course, Natasha. And now we have Pedro. Now, so I'm excited to know more. Now, this is what they're stating. They said it was reported, of course, earlier this year, the actor was described as a key role. There's no real details. They're claiming, and I wanted to write my own notes on this. They said he could possibly be a god in disguise. You remember, similar to David Thewlis, who played, Sir Patrick Morgan, but he ended up turning out to be Ares. So we'll have to see, or Ares, excuse me. That is interesting. I wonder, could he be, another cheetah within this particular sequel? That's a possibility too. So it could be either or. I'm actually excited to know more how he's going to be played in this. We'll have to see if they give us more breadcrumbs. I would love that. Don't give us too much, but just enough. We have a long way to go. This doesn't come out to November of next year as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot going on in November. Like this year's December. It's got a couple of different things coming out in December. And next year's November. Maybe something good in December, which will be, Star Wars movie, so of course. But yeah, this is interesting. I love how this cast is coming along. They didn't bring him. He wasn't at Comic-Con. It was just Patty, Chris Pine, and Gal Gadot. Didn't see him there. That's interesting. So yeah, that means that once they came back from Comic-Con, went back to set, he must have already been on the set, and that's when she took the picture and posted that up. So, but yeah, I like him. Like I stated, he's a great actor. I enjoyed him when he was on Game of Thrones. Still pissed about the way he died, but I won't go there. Let's keep that to myself. But yeah, he's doing good things as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in whatever role he's in. And I'm loving the way he's dressed in his character. The suits of those days, wow. I mean, just the flashiness of them all, down to the shoes. It looks really like I'm gonna love the 80s style in this movie. It's gonna be something to see. I was, in my late teens, so I'm going to love watching it. I'm going to probably get a kick out of it and a chuckle at the most. But yes, but moving on. So that is really all the news I have on this. But I wanted to discuss one more thing that's definitely movie news and movie deserving is Venom. I did my trailer early last week, and I'm going to tell you, I literally was stumped. That whole trailer from beginning to end was great. Now, I would say this, and I'll make this note. When they did the first trailer which was a teaser, a lot of people were up in arms. I had not a problem with it. I say it, and I'm going to say it again. Most individuals are now spoiled with the way Hollywood shows in the last, 5 or so years, when they show a teaser, they still give you a little bit more if that's not a tease. You're just basically showing, just show a regular trailer. When you do a tease, give me a teaser trailer. That's what I know I'm looking for. And they're like, that's it. You'd be amazed some of the reactions I watch and see the looks on their faces like somebody took their wallet and they're just in straight devastation. I don't care about that stuff because I see it like this. You're going to eventually see another trailer. It's going to come. And especially when a movie is, say, for instance, 10 months away or 9 months away, we have a long way to go. Don't give me everything now because then it's like once you've seen it, then the wait starts and you just all, kind of, annoyed about it. So when I saw the second one, it was really good. And then we got our official trailer, where it's damn near 3 minutes and it was really good and it was very effective. Let me put it like this. There were some individuals who just did not care and wasn't sure if they wanted to be as Team Venom or whatever, but now they are, and they're there. They want to see it. I say some parts of the ending, a scene with the Venom, getting ready to bite off heads, you have them scaling walls, just, symbiote, action, villain, just everything known to man. I mean, it was epic. It was an epic trailer. I'm excited to see it. Now, speaking of villain as well, you have an idea of how they're showcasing the symbiotes. Now, at first I thought it was just Venom, but I knew it was a possibility it could be more because of the way they did the first trailer, the teaser. You saw the one that was, locked up in some little, cryogenic little thing. And from the second one, you see a little bit more Venom, whatever and all that, but still not knowing if it was more than one or two because it was like they were just giving us a little bit. When I saw this last trailer, you see it's multiple ones, and there's a possibility to be more. I discussed this last week that one of the director had made a comment. There's a possibility that we can get a sequel, which we kind of already know. And I'm going to tell you like this. They're just putting so many rumors out there because when I saw the Comic-Con stuff that came out online and I watched the panel, all you saw again was Ruben Fleischer. You only saw Riz Ahmed and Tom Hardy. There was other chairs there. No Michelle Williams and no Woody Harrelson. No anybody else. It was just those three. And I said right there. Now, rumor came out, I'd say maybe late fall last year, whichever. In the process of Tom Hardy, he did kind of like a video screen where he was giving hello to all these people. I don't know if it was a Brazil or something. It was some sort of festival, and he had a shirt on kind of similar with the Venom, and he was talking about he's working on his movie, whichever. So that's when I knew something was up. Secondly, with Woody Harrelson, we are hearing, of course, he's going to be Dr. Cassidy. Nowhere to be found in this trailer. Nothing at all. I am wanting to know what's up with him. Then I'm hearing little stories about he could have a small part towards the end, which will go right into the possibility of a sequel. So you never know. Now I will say this, because let me break down my notes, because I had to really dig in this one. I'm not familiar with Venom, but I'm getting very familiar ever since we did the teaser trailer, because I want to know what's going on, and I like to have an idea, and I don't mind other information in the comments from anybody who's watching this trailer, or this reaction, of my movie news. I welcome extra feedback or knowledge on something I don't know, especially when it pertaining to Venom. Now, for me, I noticed in the trailer, Riz Ahmed, he plays, of course, the lead of Life Foundation. His name is Carlton Drake, and there's a scene that was so riveting to me. I'm going to put up my response to it in here somewhere. Matter of fact, I'm going to probably do it right now. But yes, I'm going to say this scene right there that I saw where Riot's the Venom, the actual symbiote Riot ripped off that head, and you can see he's there because I did have to panic 'cause I thought I saw a human face and it was Riz. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, they're said Riot is one of those particular symbiotes that transfers from host to host. He doesn't stay, within a particular one. Secondly, the female looked like I thought she was a cop, whatever, and all that. I could be wrong. Supposedly she's at the crash. Now that's getting out where they're claiming how, this was, Chinese, what is it, paramedic or whatever, and she, was there just because the crash site happens in China. So before, Carlton get, whatever he found of the symbiotes, whatever, one latched onto her, whichever. But then there's a scene where she's inside, but it looks like it could be her inside, whatever, and she could have been the one that jumped up on Eddie Brock, whatever, which caused him to end up getting, Venom. Secondly, she's played by Michelle Lee. In this movie, and I had to remember her name because I said that name sounds so familiar, and I was like, okay, I got to do my research. I didn't realize who was the female cast in this as well. For me, also, they're saying the firing spikes off of her, and then of course her having, the slasher with the, the arm, the blade weapon, whoever, and all that with Riot, whichever. We don't know if that's partly could be, say, Phage or Lasher, but she's being listed as being the particular symbiote that screams. So it's like we have all these different ones. You got Lasher, Scream, Agony, and Phage, excuse me. So I'm just not sure which one. And then the color. When you see the one that's in that little cryogenic thing that's moving around, it has yellow. So it's like you get all these four different ones, as well as Venom. So this is considered to be the children of Venom, so to speak. So that's what I'm getting. But then they're saying it could be more. There's a possibility there's another one from a scene from one of them being tied up that we never get seen being taken over. I don't know if that's considered the one that's supposed to be Toxin. Again, it's so many of them. It's hard for me to figure out who's who right now. Probably wants to see the movie, I'll understand a little bit better. But yes, it has me more and more intrigued about the movie. I'm excited. I'm glad it's getting a lot of talking. It was trending like crazy online. I actually, like I said, did my reaction. I actually had to watch it twice because once was not enough. It was so much happening, and I wanted to see everything I can grasp and look at again because it needed another look over for real. It was that good. I could have watched it a third time, but I said twice is enough. I watched it after I did my reaction, but it was just a great trailer. I'm so excited for Tom Hardy. A lot of people were just egging this. A lot of them believe in him and his work, him coming off, of course, all the different movies he's done, going back to, Dark Knight, he's done many other movies, you can't beat his work. He has a good work ethic, I've loved him in many things. So that's why I said, he's coming to this knowing about that script, feeling confident about the director, the cast. That's why I think a lot of people are feeling like, okay, we're on board. I've been on board since the teaser. I was excited. I'm patient. I knew eventually we'd see Venom. I'm not in a hurry. This stuff isn't going anywhere. We're going to see everything we need to see. Let them do a little tweak they need to do for the CGI to make sure it's just right, because that was a couple more people, making a little comment, and basically, nitpicking at every little thing they couldn't on the man. It's almost comical at times, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this, and October is right around the corner now. I'm not going to rush it. It'll be here. We have 2 months to go. Tomorrow will be 2 months because it comes out October 5th, and I cannot wait. So, but yes, I'm looking forward to that, and I just wanted to kind of just throw that in there really quickly because I'm just so hyped to see it now, and it just needed to be discussed again because I so enjoyed it, that trailer. Oh my goodness, it was just everything about it, and then listening to Venom, saying a turd in the wind. I swear, I couldn't. I literally was like, my mouth had dropped. I was like, damn, a turd in the wind, huh? Wow. I mean, okay, you'd almost think it's cheesy, but it's almost hysterical, and it's just like they said, that just sounds like how Venom would talk. So I'm taking forward this because I'm looking forward to this, and this is definitely going to be rated R because after he said that he bit that guy's head off, so I can imagine how just really raw it's going to really get, and just that little bit of a trailer we got for the official trailer probably is just the tip of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really feel like I'm going to go see this thing twice, probably in one weekend. I wouldn't be surprised if I do because I'm good for doing stuff like that if I really like it. So, but with that said, you guys, that's all of my movie news. If anything else comes out, you all know, I will hit you up the following week for the next week movie news. And with that said, I will see you guys next time. Guys, take care.